Welcome to Dollar Side Hustle, your go-to podcast for all things side hustle. Today we're diving into a strategy called search arbitrage. It might sound a little complicated at first, but stick with us because we're breaking it down step by step for beginners.
Think of it this way. It's kind of like buying something on sale and then selling it for a higher price. But in this case, you're buying traffic from one source and then selling it to another through ads.
Okay, I think that makes it a little easier to understand. But how do you actually, do that?
So let's say you find a source where you can buy traffic cheaply. This could be through certain types of online ads, You then direct that traffic to a page that has ads from a different source. If those ads pay more per click than you spent on the initial traffic, boom, you've made a profit.
So it's all about finding that price difference, that arbitrage opportunity, right? But it can't be as simple as just buying any traffic and sending it anywhere. There's got to be more to it than that.
Oh, absolutely. You need a strategy. And a big part of that is understanding your target audience and tailoring your content to them. Let's say someone is running ads for pet supplies. They wouldn't want to send that traffic to a page about car parts, right?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. The people clicking on those pet supply ads are probably interested in, pet supplies.
Exactly. So you need to make sure the content on the page where you're sending the traffic is relevant to the ads you're buying. That way people are more likely to click on the ads and you're more likely to make a profit.
So you're kind of like a matchmaker connecting the right audience with the right ads.
Yeah.
But how do you even find those arbitrage opportunities in the first place?
That's where the research comes in. You need to understand two key metrics, cost per click or CPC and click-through rate or CTR. CPC is how much you pay each time someone clicks on your ad. CTR is the percentage of people who see your ad and actually click on it.
Okay, so CPC is what you spend and CTR influences how much you earn. I'm starting to see how this all fits together.
Exactly. Let's say you find an ad with a CPC of 50 cents. That means you'll pay 50 cents every time someone clicks on it. Now let's say you send that traffic to a page with ads that have a CPC of 75 cents and a decent CTR. If enough people click on those ads, you'll earn more than that initial 50 cents you spent per click.
So you need to find a situation where the CPC you earn is higher than the CPC you pay. That makes sense. But how do you know what a decent CTR is?
Well, there's no magic number as it varies depending on the industry and niche, but generally a CTR of 1% or higher is considered pretty good. So if 100 people see your ad and at least one person clicks on it, you're on the right track.
Got it. So higher CTR means more clicks, which potentially means more profit. But finding those profitable opportunities sounds like it takes some serious digging.
It does, but that's where the excitement comes in. Think of it like a treasure hunt. You're searching for those hidden gems, those undervalued keywords or niches where you can buy traffic for cheap and send it to pages with higher paying ads.
So it's a bit of science and a bit of art, right? You need the data, but you also need that intuition to spot the potential gold mines.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between the analytical and the creative. But even if you find a great opportunity, it's not a set it and forget it kind of thing.
You mean you can't just buy some traffic and then sit back and watch the money roll in?
Definitely not. You need to constantly monitor your campaigns, track your CPC and CTR, and adjust your strategy as needed. Think of it like tending a garden. You need to water it, weed it, and nurture it to make sure it thrives.
So it's not a passive income stream. You need to put in the work to make it successful. But what are some of those adjustments you might need to make?
Well, let's say you're running a campaign and your CPC is higher than your earnings. You might need to adjust your targeting, try different keywords, or find a different traffic source. Or maybe your CTR is low, which means people aren't clicking on your ads. In that case, you might need to improve the quality of your content or make sure your ads are more relevant to the people seeing them.
So it's a constant process of testing, tweaking, and optimizing.
Yeah.
But that sounds like it could get overwhelming, especially for beginners. Where do you even start?
One important tip is to start small. Don't invest a ton of money right out of the gate. Start with a small budget, maybe $5 or $10 per day, and test different approaches. See what works, what doesn't, and learn from your mistakes.
So it's all about dipping your toes in the water before you dive in head first. That makes sense. But what are some specific things beginners should focus on when they're first starting out?
One of the most important things is choosing the right niche. Don't try to be everything to everyone. Focus on a specific area where you have some knowledge or interest.
So instead of trying to target people who are interested in everything, you find a group of people who are really passionate about, say, vintage video games or organic gardening.
Exactly. By narrowing your focus, you can better understand your audience's needs and interests. And this will help you create content that resonates with them and choose ads they're more likely to click on.
Okay, so find your niche, and then what? How do you actually create that content?
The key is to provide value. Don't just create a page that's stuffed with ads. Think about what your audience is searching for and create content that answers their questions, solves their problems, or entertains them.
So if I'm targeting people who love vintage video games, I might create a blog post about the rarest Atari cartridges, or a video tutorial on how to repair a classic Nintendo console.
Exactly. By providing valuable content, you build trust with your audience and make them more likely to engage with your site and, yes, click on those ads.
It's all about that balance between earning revenue and providing a positive experience for your visitors, right?
Precisely. And speaking of providing a positive experience, let's talk about ad placement. You don't want to bombard your visitors with ads the second they land on your page.
Yeah, that's a surefire way to send them running for the hills.
Exactly. You want to strategically place your ads where they're noticeable but not intrusive. For example, you might place ads alongside your content or at the end of a blog post.
So it's about finding those sweet spots where the ads feel natural and don't disrupt the flow of the content.
Right. And when you're choosing ads to display, make sure they're relevant to your niche and high quality. You don't want to promote products or services that you wouldn't use yourself.
It's about maintaining that integrity and trust with your audience.
Yeah.
If you're recommending something shady or irrelevant, they'll see right through it.
Absolutely. Now, remember those ad refresh rates we talked about earlier?
You mean how often new ads load on a page? Yeah, I remember you said it affects how many opportunities you have to earn.
Exactly. Understanding ad refresh rates is key to maximizing your earnings. But it's not as simple as just setting it to refresh as often as possible.
Okay, so what's the strategy there?
You need to consider factors like user behavior and the types of ads you're displaying. For example, if you have engaging content that keeps people on your page for a while, you might set a longer refresh rate so you don't interrupt their experience.
So you're not constantly bombarding them with new ads every few seconds. You're letting them enjoy the content and then subtly introducing new ads when it makes sense.
Right. But if your content is shorter, like a quick news article, you might set a shorter refresh rate to increase the chances of someone seeing and clicking on an ad.
It's about finding that sweet spot between maximizing impressions and respecting the user experience. It seems like there's a lot of nuance to this search arbitrage thing.
There is, but that's what makes it so interesting. It's like a puzzle, and you're constantly experimenting and tweaking things to find the perfect solution.
So we've talked about niche selection, content creation, ad placement, and ad refresh rates. What else do beginners need to know to get started with search arbitrage?
One important tip is to choose the right platform. There are a ton of ad networks out there, but not all of them are created equal.
So where do you recommend starting?
Some popular options include Google AdSense and Media.net, but there are many others. The key is to do your research and find a network that aligns with your niche and offers competitive CPC rates.
So don't just jump on the first platform you come across. Shop around and find one that's a good fit for your needs.
Exactly. And once you've chosen a platform, take the time to understand its policies and guidelines. You don't want to get your account banned for accidentally violating a rule.
Yeah, that would be a major setback. So to recap, we've covered a lot of ground here. Niche selection, content creation, ad placement, refresh rates, choosing a platform, and following the rules.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like there's a lot to learn, but also a lot of potential for success.
There is. But remember, success in search arbitrage, like any side hustle, takes time, effort, and a willingness to learn and adapt.
It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. You need to treat it like a business and put in the work to make it profitable. But what about the long-term viability of search arbitrage? Is it a sustainable way to earn income?
Yeah, that's a great question. We've talked about the potential. But are we looking at a short-term moneymaker or something that you can really build on?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the truth is there's no easy answer. Search arbitrage can be a bit like surfing, you know. You're riding the waves of trends and algorithms, which can change quickly.
So you need to be adaptable and ready to adjust your strategy as needed. Exactly. What works today might not work tomorrow. You need to stay on top of industry updates. Experiment with new approaches and be willing to pivot if something isn't working.
It sounds like it takes a certain personality type to thrive in this kind of environment.
Yeah, it does. You need to be comfortable with uncertainty, enjoy problem solving, and have a bit of an entrepreneurial spirit, you know?
So it's not for everyone, But for those who are willing to put in the work and embrace the challenges, it can be a rewarding side hustle.
Absolutely. And remember, the skills you learn in search arbitrage, like market research, data analysis, and content creation, are valuable in many other areas of online business.
So even if you decide search arbitrage isn't the right long-term fit for you, the knowledge you gain along the way can be applied to other ventures.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe you'll discover a passion for digital marketing or online entrepreneurship that you never knew you had.
The world of side hustles is full of possibilities. So before we wrap things up, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to someone who's considering diving into search arbitrage?
Do your research. Don't just jump in blindly. Learn the basics, understand the risks and challenges, and start small. Treat it like a business and be patient. Success takes time and effort.
Great advice. And remember, we've just scratched the surface here. There's a wealth of information available online and in communities dedicated to search arbitrage. So keep learning, keep experimenting, and most importantly, have fun.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions or want to share your experiences, feel free to leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you.
That's all for today's deep dive into search arbitrage. We hope you found it valuable and insightful. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more side hustle tips and strategies.